Shalom. First and foremost, call Loyam La Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, and as always, peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. 2 Corinthians 2, verse 11 says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And you got to constantly be on your watch, when dealing with the enemy. All right, his devil, he doesn't take any breaks, and he's constantly, at war. He takes no breaks whatsoever. He takes no coffee breaks, no lunch breaks, no cigarette breaks. He's always on the move, and that's why, the exhortation from Apostle Peter, he says be sober, especially in these evil days that we're coming into. 1 Peter 5:8, it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He's always finding ways to destroy, because that's this devil's MO. All right. He's known as the border of wickedness. So you already know what to expect when dealing with these devils, and the earth it happens to be given into his hands. So he has the power to do, what the Lord allows him to do. All right. They practice evil upon their beds, and when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And this is, another device. They're basically setting up the narrative that there's a possibility that you have, domestic terrorists or extremist groups that have the smarts, the experience, you know, and the information to be able to carry out an attack on the power grid. So this is the narrative that they're conjuring up right now, because you already know that, they're in overdrive, when it comes to, pushing out, the constant scare of, people dropping dead left and right, because they don't have that venom injected into their bodies. They're pushing out the next, scariant. All of a sudden, the moronic, his cousin, and popped up. So now you got the moronic 2 or the moronic B. That's supposed to have showed up in California or something like that. So it's just to, keep the constant psychological warfare just, going. All right. So not only you got to fear, these constant scariants that they keep on coming up with, but you also got to fear the next so-called terrorist attack, which more than likely will be a false flag. All right, another false flag operation. And a lot of these warnings are just predictions based off of plans, because, they have these secret councils, like the scriptures say in Psalms, the 64th chapter. All right. Deliver me from, the workers of iniquity, man. It talks about there being, the secret council of the wicked, the insurrections of the workers of iniquity. And they have, all type of meetings and summits, and they've had, decades to plan these type of things out, because they have an accomplishment, an objective. And that's the great reset, a whole new infrastructure. All right. Your food supply, uh, your utilities, your power, your water source, the monetary system. So we know what these devils are up to, man. And these things they're gonna try to carry out, to reshape the infrastructure. All right. So we definitely are not ignorant to this man's schemes, his lies. So clearly this is a straight up narrative. And they're trying to pick and choose, which one they're gonna go with. If something was to happen, we can either blame it on, these homegrown terrorists, these right wing, extremists, or we could point the finger at Russia or maybe China or Iran for the matter. So you see what's happening. These are two different news sources with two different narratives. Right wing extremists, they have the potential to attack the power grid, and or Russia, who we happen to be in conflict with. Babylon happens to be in a conflict with over Ukraine. So they're pretty much setting the narrative. So when it does happen, because they're gonna carry this out, they already find those that they can blame. We're not gonna pretend like the government doesn't carry out false flags on its own civilians to bring forth agendas and to bring in more legislation to implement more order and control. All right, so be on alert, man. Something can pop at any moment, and that's why we got to constantly be sober, be vigilant. It also says in Ephesians, be circumspect, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. All right. Now, these devils, they stay telling on themselves. Let me get Psalms. Let me go to Psalm 64. Psalm 64, verse 8, it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And how do they tell on themselves? By the fact that they constantly have to have these meetings and do these simulations to talk about, these potential crises before they actually happen. And then, months after or maybe a year after they have these meetings or these simulations, it happens. And it happens exactly the way that they predicted. Was because these predictions are based off of plans. These people are not prophets, man. These are all witches, warlocks, demons. All right. And it tells you that in Psalms, the 64th chapter, that they search out iniquities. All right. This is Psalm 64 and 5 and 6. It says, they encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities, using their, scientists, and they get everybody on board. Okay. It says, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep. You read it in the NLT translation. It says, as they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. All right, and there's nobody on earth as cunning as Esau. Going back to the garden, he was that serpent, and it says that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. All right, so this devil, he has a way of getting over on the people, man, devising all type of crimes and wickedness, and then he likes to hide himself from it. So this is how he's going to try to distance himself from any situation at hand that comes up. But they're gonna act like they're kind and give you the warning. They want to give you a heads up first. No, you finna carry these things out, but you have somebody to blame. Now they showed you in that one movie, with Bruce Willis, Die Hard. I think it was the fourth one, and there was a scene in the actual movie where you had one of those masterminds, who was very knowledgeable in um cyber warfare, and they had what you call the fire cell. You can actually go and look it up on YouTube. You know, I'm gonna try to refrain from playing it because they might try to, you know, uh, give me for copyright. But you can actually go on YouTube and actually look up the scene, and they showed you a reel from all the different presidents, you know, making public speeches, talking about a possible crisis that that affects the infrastructure, that affects the utility and the power and the electrical grid, all this other stuff. And the dude mentioned the fire cell, which was basically um, a cyber warfare attack that performs systematic attacks on the infrastructure. A body of hackers, that can carry out the operation. Okay, and then I think it's supposed to be in like three different stages. They start off by shutting down all the transportation, the traffic lights, the railroads, the airport system, so on and so forth, the subways, and then they would proceed to shut down the whole financial system. All your banks, or you can't get a hold of your banking system. You can't get money out, and then the final stage is cutting off all utilities, man. The electricity, the gas, satellite systems, all that was involved with that. So they were basically telling on themselves by showing you in these movies. They always do it. It's called predictive programming. So they tell on themselves, and then later on they try to bring these things out. But they know the general public is ignorant. They're not gonna, look at these devils for who they truly are. All right. So, this is the narrative. DHS warns that right-wing extremists could attack the power grid. All right, and then here on CBS News, DHS says U.S. on heightened alert for Russian cyber attack. All right, and these were both posted within a day apart. So what's up with that? So you see what this devil's doing, man. But he's moving quickly and sloppy because his time is short. Revelation 12 and 12. Let me get that. Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And he's just he's increasing, with his witchcraft, his enchantments. You got to go all out, man, because a lot of people are not buying it anymore. All right. The troll is no longer called noble or liberal. Nobody trusts you. So you just all over the place creating whatever, man. False flag after false flag, psyop after psyop. A lot, more fear mongering using the mainstream media. All these bought and paid for journalists and reporters, anchors reading from the same script. Shit is getting old and tiring. People are getting tired of it, man. This is all a lie. But I understand you got to do what you got to do because you really think that you're going to fulfill your agenda. Well, the Lord said this. You can have all these summits and meetings all you want. You at the event 201, you at the Clade X, and then next thing you know, here come the Crown Royal. Here come the Crown, right? And it's been 2 years now. They're not going to stop. They already made it known that this is an endemic. And then these pharmaceutical companies that's making billions of dollars off of it, they're going to continue to manufacture, these potions. And we already and we ain't going to even go into the specifics of it. We can't even do that no more on YouTube. But y'all already know. Y'all already know. All right. But at the end, this devil is he's not gonna succeed. All right. This is Job 5 and 12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. The Lord's gonna throw that monkey wrench. Okay. He's gonna throw that monkey wrench. You already see what's happening. There's a lot of division. A lot of people are getting, tired, restless. People are exposing you left and right. It's happening, man. And that's why you gotta, train your soldiers, you know, create these task force to you know basically wage war against its own civilians because you're afraid that people are gonna pop off because people are getting armed. People talking about protecting their homes, especially when you think you're gonna go from door to door. Putting people in concentration camps. We already know that's what you're gonna resort to. Especially us, you're gonna definitely come for the men of the Lord. That's already written. The devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried 10 days. But be faithful unto death, and the Lord will give you the crown of life. We know there's going to be insurrection against those that fear the Lord. But hey, like Isaiah 59 prophesied, you know, shall they fear the enemy from the west when the enemy shall come in like a flood. All right, the Lord's going to lift up that standard against him when he do that. So right now, we're just going to call you out and prophesy against you and expose you. And then the Lord's he's going to take care of the rest. So he's going to disappoint the devices of the crafty, your plans, your plots. It says he take of the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. And you're so predictable now. You used to be ahead, you did everything in secrecy, but now everything is out. Because the scriptures say that the man of sin, the son of perdition, will be revealed in his time. All right. You're predictable. So whatever next that takes place or happen, we know according to prophecy, it got to happen. Many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter days. Uh, that are in the world because they walked in great pride. So we know that the Lord's going to add more calamity to these people. That's why He's going to allow you to do what you're going to do. So you're going to knock the power out more than likely. It's going to knock out everything, and then people, that pride is going to go out the window. Okay, and they've been talking about this, man, for a while. They had that meeting. What was it called? The Cyber Polygon, and I did a lesson on it. They even did like a infomercial on it, man. They was promoting this program as if when this next crisis happened, they saying that this next pandemic is gonna what did it say? That basically this crisis of a cyber attack is gonna be worse than the Crown Royal. They say it's gonna have the characteristics of the Crown Royal virus. You know, and it was being promoted by the World Economic Forum. So they're anticipating that there's going to be cyber attacks on the infrastructure. That's only just so that they can reshape the infrastructure, man. We're not stupid. All right, they toyed with the gas pipelines months ago. We saw what was going on, and they were trying to blame Russia, Iran, and they didn't have nothing to do with it. So you already see where this is going. All right. And we going into these things while you still got, wicked Israelites that want to, go tit for tat. They still want to go back and forth. They still want to, be petty and create, straw man arguments, you know, not sparing the flock though. But we, even though we defend the gospel, but we still gonna stay upon our watch, man. Because there's major things that's happening in the spirit. All right. So we got to stay focused. The hell with them niggas, man. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link to both of these articles in the description box. You know, y'all can if y'all like, y'all can go ahead and read through it. All right, but they've been telling us this, and so you already know what to expect. Right, so it's all in the predictive programming. They having simulations about it, so you already know. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. Until the next lesson, Shalom.